Hello YouTube, welcome to today's video. Hope you're having a great day. So today I will be doing an introduction into Aimbeast. Aimbeast is an aim trainer, much like Kovaaks. And with that, of course, I mean the Kovaaks FPS aim trainer. The one we all know and love and play all the time. And of course, there are other products like Kovaaks or similar style, for example, also Aimlabs, also well known, mostly for its free to play, and this Aimbeast goes in the opposite direction. It's very expensive, but nonetheless, I've bought this. I had this program for quite some while, but it lacked a lot of scenarios in the beginning, and a lot of stuff got better over time. And now it's a good point to review it again. So, with that said, what do you get with Aimbeast? The most important thing is you get basically scenario list, much like you get in Kovaaks. You can open a scenario and and just get your basically the same experience more or less that you get with Kovaaks scenarios, which is just some geometry on some simplistic map, some point system, some timer, and of course in the end some challenge score, a score for your challenge runs. You have free runs, you have challenge runs. And so the core experience is more or less the same. But there are things that are actually better in this game than there are in Kovaaks FPS Aimtrainer. And of course also some things that are worse. These are the most things I want to go over, so you can just decide for yourself if this program is worse for you now to transition now. Worse to transition now, or if you should still wait and see if it gets more updates, if it gets better over time. So that being said, I try to get the minute down so you actually see the final score screen, because this is where we start. The very first difference, or big differences, basically, is that the stat screen is, the complete program in general is just more sophisticated. It's more modern. It's not like, was not programmed like getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so starting from a beta and then adding features here and there. No, it was kind of a designed idea, and then it got implemented into this state right away, and you can see it in this kind of more clear UI. Well, not strictly more clear, but it's kind of course, also copied a lot of features, but it kind of has many features that Kovaaks does not. For example, like this score over time, accuracy over time, like for some scenarios useful. Final score also tells you how extra scores are calculated. You get up and down, and you can vote if something is good or bad. You get the same kills, accuracy things, some hits done, and so on. And on the right side, you get the statistics, same as in Kovaaks. So you get the entries, the median. So this Kovaaks also implemented now. So there's not so far apart now. You also have the friends only. I don't have any friends, so there's no one in the list. And you also get a current rank, which says now Platinum 2. And I'm on the top 21.49% on this specific scenario. Not on this run, because of course my high score is 106. I did not take this run seriously, so I got only 63 for this one. And from this, you can also click on statistics. And here you can actually get in-game statistics, which Kovaaks also implemented by time. But the thing is that Aimbeast had this statistic menu in mind from the get-go. It had it since the very beginning, and you kind of get a little bit more sophisticated menu, I would say. That's for so in general. But I have not used this too much. I don't have enough scores yet to look at the bigger statistics. What is a feature that this program has? Okay, and then from the basic scenario, let's go over to the actual scenario list, which I also like more. So the first thing is you don't need to update it, or it's always updated, right? You don't need to start the program and then wait for half an hour until it's updated or whatever. You can just search, which is also very fast. You can search by tags. So every scenario has its tags. You even get a short preview if you mouse over a scenario. And you see text, TRM, this is creator, TRM, the short form of TRM, clicking and reload. Okay, so just text, so you can now search for reload, for example. So now you get all scenarios that are tagged with reload. Of course, more, I think, no, not all of them are actually clicking. So there's also the type. You can also filter by type. Difficulty and rating. For this, you get the filter. So you can filter by type, verified, difficulty, and you have the button for random scenario. Now, the thing about this random scenario button is that it takes into consideration your filters. So if you, for example, want to train target switching scenario today, and you want to train a rather hard one, but not the hardest scenario, you set your filters, then you click on random scenario, and then you get Vox target switch 4 extra small from JBR, for example. I will not play it now, but no. And again, you can watch the leaderboard, the statistics, and download the scenario to your local drive. Because of course, this is now an online experience, so you can download it to your local, and then it's in your custom game list, I think, local files. Okay, so this menu by itself is already a lot better than the Kovaaks one. So this is the first advantage. This list is very fluent, very easy to use, very fast. And you also get weekly challenges, and you also see on the right side your scores on a scenario you clicked on, basically. Also, of course, you have the free-to-play mode. You can enter here right away, and this is just for reload and refresh. Okay, then the next big thing I like about this game, well, I basically only mentioned weekly challenges. Weekly challenges is a thing here as well. Weekly challenges are awesome. Gives you something to play, something fresh to train every week, and this is awesome. But then a ranked mode. So Kovaaks also has a ranked mode, but this is for Kovaaks you need to pay it monthly. Here it's a one-time buy. And this is basically like, you know, from Voltaics or Respected Aim, you get this benchmarks. And this is basically the benchmarks, right? It's only categorized in 3 categories: clicking, tracking, switching. So it's not into dynamic or stacking clicking. It's not reactive or precise tracking. It's the same for switching. It's basically only these 3 categories, but the subcategories are basically the same. But you have to know it, basically. So, of course, if you go by tags, can I not see tags here? It might be that I cannot actually see the tags. So you can see the tags, of course. You can find the same scenarios in your normal array. So 1 wall for targets. 1 wall for targets. And then you see, okay, it's clicking reload ranked. Right. So you can also search just by ranked tags. So here are your ranked playlists. And of course I had the filter to hard, that way it showed only the hard scenarios, but you also see the easy ranked scenarios. Okay, then from this list you get basically 3 scores: clicking, tracking, switching. You get these medals, and they represent the lowest score in the respective category. Like clicking, I have gold 2. Well, I have played everything to gold 2. And then out of this 3, it shows your calculates your global rank. And of course, your average scores. I think they are just summarized into the score. So sometimes you see that, for example, that Tius has a gold 1, but this has a bigger score than me. Of course, it means that in one of the categories he has one scenario where he has gold 1. It's most likely star clicking V3 because this is the hardest scenario in the run. But he has a bigger score on some other scenarios. I don't know, where am I bad? I don't know. How to say which scenario he's better than me. No point in guessing. Of course, you have median and entries as usual. And leaderboards, of course, you can also just see leaderboards for categories or for things. I'm not too interested in leaderboards. But yeah, but this is of course the beginner version. This is like the entry point. And then of course you have the intermediate, which then goes up to like Master 1. Like, you know, the green, the like Glade from Voltaics. But I have to say the ranks are very different from Voltaics. So in Voltaics I was full platinum basically. And here now I am gold 2. So you know. I'm not ranked in the median yet. I don't have it played enough. And of course, after the intermediate, you get the advanced, which goes into Grandmaster, and you see famous people on here, like Matty Overwatch, for example. I have to scroll up, of course. Like here you have Matty Overwatch, for example, or some respected aimer guys. Are they still called respected aimer? Some Voltaic guys. Cartoon, of course. Well, some people might know. Yeah. So you also get the Grandmaster scores here. After Master 2 comes the Grandmaster. Okay, so this is just the ranked playlist. Again, just so you can evaluate your own performance and see which category you need to train more. So I think my biggest weak point is the star click in V3. This is what I need to train more. But then now I know, okay, this is, as you can see, I'm kind of okay at static clicking. I have platinum, but I'm kind of trash at dynamic clicking, so I should train dynamic clicking more in this list. And for tracking, I'm kind of okay at Paso track and Zeus track Evo. And I'm kind of bad at another Paso track and air control, sphere, and smooth. I don't know what to get out of this, but yeah, better people will know. So like this, you can just estimate in which category you need to train or what you want to train next, basically. And then, of course, the next big part, a very good part, very well done, is routines. Now, again, for routines, again, you have search by name. For example, you can search for OW, which is for Overwatch. You can search for Valorant. You can search for warm-up, if you can type warm-up, of course, and so on. And, of course, you can also just search for the same guys, TRM, who made a lot of the scenarios. So, again, a good search. Again, you get a description, you get this type, you get the estimated duration. Now the estimated duration is a little bit awkward because it's not calculated, it's kind of typed in by the author and it kind of seems to be wrong. But again, also you can randomize lists as you can do in Kovaaks. So all the good features are here, plus additional extra features, and it's just a more sophisticated UI design. And again, text, random routine if you want to know, just play something else. You can create a new routine yourself. And of course, you have the type of local or workshop. And of course, you can just save routines in your local drive. So you can just download, for example, this HNA. So one thing I have to say is, it's a little bit fake, because it says here pure G smoothness, HNA tech FPS, which are of course all very good Kovaaks playlists, and they are all very well known, and they have been tested and discussed and everything. And now you see the same here, but this is not the same. If you click here, it's to the closest scenarios I could to find a copy of Pure G smoothness. Pure G is a group, and this guy Evras might not be within this group. It might be just some random dude who tried to copy Pure G smoothness into this game. And the same goes for Tech FPS. If you look here, it's carried by JBR, and again, I do not know if these guys are the original guys, and these are not the original scenarios. Like, they are close, but they are not the same. It's a little bit different. So it's just a replica and not kind of... No, there are some differences. So you just have to be aware of that just because someone used the same name, you have to be aware that this... I can also now create a routine and call it Aimer7, right? And who will stop me? Like, this is... just you have to be aware of. It might be not original, but from my experience, I've tested these routines. They are close enough to test the same thing. So if you go for Pure, you go to randomize all, for example, but just do a random one. So you have the Fortnite glider. Again, it is a little bit different than in Kovaaks. The glider is a little bit different when it resets. So I think in Kovaaks it doesn't jump up, it falls down on a response, for example. So there are some differences, but you know, the size, the speed, the required mouse control are very similar. The dodge patterns are very similar. So it's kind of very close. By the way, I'm aware that you cannot see the bot very well into the sky because my brightness setting, I play in HDR mode, and HDR is stupid to record. So I'm very sorry for that. So you couldn't see too well. It's because of my bot settings. And this brings me to the next point, settings. Should I go over settings? Oh, I still want to mention first, there's also a PvP mode, which is awesome. It's called Arena. You can actually play against other humans. But as you see, the servers are mostly empty, so I have really not tested it. But it's basically like a 1 versus 1, but without cover or anything. So it's really just shoot and dodge. And whoever is better in shooting and dodging wins, basically. So this is something I need to test in the future, the Arena mode. It's a cool feature. I just have to test it out if someone actually plays it. Now, settings. In general, I like the settings in this game mode again more. So one thing is, you have the direct centimeters per 60, and you can type in your centimeters, and you can always calculate it to your next game if you want to transfer it to a game. Like I want Overwatch to have it 2. For example, it calculates that you should have this sensitivity, for example. Again, the same as for field of view type. You have different field of views. So the calculators are here, enable ADS, crosser settings, and hit marker settings, and all the good stuff. The graphics I like a lot more in this game than I do in Kovaaks, mostly because it runs better. Now this might sound a little bit stupid, but Kovaaks actually has some problems, or rather had some problems on older laptops where it ran a lot. Yeah, it's not strictly slower, but it had kind of like more hiccups than it should have. And Aimbeast just ran smoother. This was the main goal by a bot, Aimbeast to begin with, because Kovaaks was not running well on my notebook. Like Kovaaks ran worse than Overwatch or Doom 3 directly, for example. So then I just got another Aimtrainer, and then I could still train on my old laptop, which then worked fine. So again, all the good stuff. FPS limit, VSync, quality settings, the theme. Oh, there's a performance mode. Nice. And of course, all the other settings. But the thing I wanted to say most is that I like the colors here better than Kovaaks. Even though this is now this pale white color, this is just very specific. I think this is a bot glow amount. Yeah, this is a bot glow amount. So here you can just customize your bot to look however you want it to look. And I kind of like the outer inner edges, I have to say. Okay, this is mostly from me. A quick overview about the functions. Now, just for a small playtest, let's go with, for example, one War 6 targets, I think, is, you know, a very famous Kovaaks scenario. And this is how it looks like in this game. So you see it's kind of close, but not the same. The bots are a little bit smaller. Oh, by the way, I also like the default sounds a lot more in Aimbeast, which of course, again, not a really strict point, because you can just set them up to whatever you want. In theory, again, I just like that the initial thought, the initial idea of the Aimbeast creators is just better and doesn't have adapted afterwards. It was kind of well done from the get-go. Which just shows that the creators of Aimbeast actually, you know, kind of had some knowledge of aim training when they created this software. Kind of very awkward slow run. I'm really not focused or warmed up or anything yet. Yeah, but I just want to show that's basically how it looks like. The UI, you see the top left, you see the top right, you see the bottom left, all the stats, and then you get this result. And one thing I have to say, in Aimbeast, mostly the score is pure kills. I have not found scenarios where your accuracy is calculated at all into your scores. You're mostly only scores. Okay? This might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. Of course, for creators, you can set up how you want to program your score calculation again. Now let's filter by for tracking. Let's go for medium. These are the medium tracking scenarios you have. No, I put ranked, sorry. Let's not go for ranked. So let's go for a random smooth spot from lane ID. I have never played this scenario. By the way, you can also reload the scenarios with R. Yeah, so this looks like most likely the smooth spot from Voltaic Season 3, more or less. Feels more like the goated version than the Platinum or Diamond ranked version. I'm not entirely sure. And what I also noticed that the general rank in Aimbeast is kinda a little bit higher, it seems, because it feels like what's considered hard in Kovaaks would be only medium in Aimbeast. And so even the beginner scenarios in Aimbeast are partially kinda hard. And the medium scenarios are also partially, like this is medium difficulty, but this is for me already hard. Like in Kovaaks you would have like 5, 6, 7 easier versions of this scenario below it. And here you kinda do not have it so easy. Like for example, you have in Kovaaks you have this close, fast, strafes, invincible, and I think here's also just medium difficulty. But in Kovaaks you would have then the easy version, the very easy version, the slow version, all these things. Yeah, very, very bad aim. Yeah, those things I have to train. But that's what I'm here for training. Okay, so I hope you liked this fast overview. If you have any further questions, if you want to see something specific to be shown before you buy it, maybe you would just want to buy this program now and you're thinking, oh, is it good, is it bad? Just ask me, I can show you whatever you want. I can also show it live on stream, by the way. If you don't want to write down YouTube comments and come back a week later and this takes too long, just visit me on Twitch. I can just quickly open it, run through some routines or scenarios, answer your questions about the program, and then you will be good to go. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye bye.